Hi, welcome to the Cosmic Weather Report. This is Taurus season. Today's date is the 12th of May. All right, happy Mother's Day to anybody who is watching or will watch this and is. Thank you for joining me. So, the report was escaping me. And I decided that what I would do is I'd only release this one to my Patreon community. So you're welcome and thank you for your patience. And then moving forward, you'll be able to have the live stream version that will be provided, all right, into the Patreon community, but there'll also be an opportunity to attend in person. So these are just things to consider if you would like. Anyway, moving forward. This has been a very intense season for the bull. It has felt like there has been a fire under the earth, right? Generating it forward, pushing it forward, prompting it forward, making it go forward, making it move in the direction that it needed to, right? And then whatever that is, allowing yourself to burn fences down. You have the freedom of speech right now, and maybe you're relearning things or putting things into practice that are more in alignment with how you wish to communicate and be communicated with. And in that, we're slowing down. We're slowing down our physical, and we're allowing the thought process to dissipate slightly and then moving into action. So we have more clarity this season. All right. In that, we still have a lot to do. So we've been doing a lot. And a lot of the things that really resonate with this season for Taurus season is self-care, and how you hold yourself. All right. You have to matter. You have to be the most important person. Holding on to something that is difficult for you in Taurus season is going to make it very physical, very material for you. All right. So the idea is to understand that you can shift that awareness away from a physical understanding and move it into a more option understanding, right? And you can move it out from where you're holding it in the center of your chest, right? Like the weight of the world, right? You're just shifting your perspective and you're allowing it to be external energetically, right? Taurus season has been very challenging. We had it started out with a bang. It started out on 420, and the earth came into this beautiful resonance and then moved right into the eclipse. And the eclipse was spectacular. It was the height just before, 3 days before the full moon. So we were going into that season. And as we were going into that season of the eclipse, the gate opened in such a way to allow us to really see ourselves in a divine aspect. And in that divine aspect, we slowed down enough to try to understand it, to grind it in, to ground it in, grind it in, to ground it in to our experience so it became us, so that we could have a material version of what that energetic experience was showing us in a sensory, thoughtful, cognitive way. All right. So the eclipse, when it pinnacled, right, it was still illuminating all that it could, all right, that was coming for us to resolve and refocus with or away from, and come into an awareness that the showing of who we are in every aspect, good, bad, whatever the judgment is that you're using, right, is non existent, that we just are who we are. and we have the experiences we have. We're not subjective once we have an experience, because we have choice, because we have understanding. We're having a different experience, and sometimes people will insert their distortion into our experience. And that's what happens. So that was pretty much what we released for those last 2 weeks, right? So that would be from, I would say that it started right around the 22nd, and it moved all the way through, goodness, the 7th, even the 8th, right? It was still really trying to go into the darkness and let go of that focus. It felt so tangible, right? And when that new moon in Taurus insisted on its clarity, insisted on its blank canvas, right? That refocus felt like a 180, like this. All right. And we're still in that energy, but in a direct aspect of choice now. And that's what's been happening for the last few weeks. And so any resistance that we have had during this season has been what fears or trepidations or rules that we've made for ourselves, whatever restrictions or boundaries that are healthy or unhealthy, they're determined by you. That's why I'm like, don't worry, don't worry. So you're going to figure that out, and you'll figure out what is healthy for you and what you feel comfortable with. All right. You'll determine what your beliefs are and how you connect to who you are and that belief. And in that, you'll just gain other perspectives, and your mind will broaden and possibility will happen. It allows you to see contrast and neutrality and positivity. All right. It lets you view polarity in all its aspects, because you can observe yourself in situations, and then you can respond, because like we're having moments here and there. All right. So this is the awareness that's being brought in by the planetary alignments right now. And I was looking at the ephemeris earlier, and it seems as though we are being prepared. Okay. Preparation. That we're being prepared for the next retrograde in Mercury. All right. And Mercury is moving through several, at least all the elements, before it goes into this retrograde. All right. So right now, Mercury is moving through fire, right? And on the 16th, it'll go into Earth. All right. And then on the 3rd of June, all right, it'll go into Gemini. So that'll be air. All right. And then it'll go into Cancer on the 18th. All right. And then it's exciting. All right. So you'll make it through quite a bit. It'll go into Leo on the 3rd of July. Fire and fire. Wow. Right. That's a lot. And we're in a Pluto return. This will be so interesting. What an interesting time to live. Okay. So, and then, yes. Okay. And then the 25th of July, it will go into Virgo. All right. Mercury will go into Virgo, and that's going to return it to Earth. So you see how it's come full cycle through all of the elements. What that entails is that you get to August 5th, which is a Monday. Okay. And Mercury goes retrograde and pulls you back through all of the earth and a portion of the fire. Okay. And we're in a fire spiritual aspect of understanding right now. All right. And we're unwinding a lot of conditioned programmed thoughts. That's the process that's happening astrologically to us. All right. That was be the interpretation that they give me. Some of the other things that they are telling me in that preparation is that all it is for you to understand that you are a tangible aspect and the energetic aspect at the same time of your experience. And standing in that allows you to have the experience of your choosing, knowing that you're divinely connected, right? Okay. So let's see. Anyway, so those are just some of the aspects. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. And then I wanted to go over a little bit more as far as the astrology goes. So I pulled up a chart, and I let me see. I'm doing. I don't know what style I'm reading right at the moment, but I can tell you that there's a stellium. That means there's more than 3 planets in a house. Okay. And the houses have a behavior, and those behaviors fall in line with whatever the zodiac signs are. That's the houses. Those are the ones that provide the luxury, okay, and the nuances of behavior, okay, to the space in the sky, all right? And during a certain frame of time, this is everything it is, okay? And the rulers of the house are the planets who feel at most home and are called the ruler of that house. Sometimes there's visitors, and that's because the planets keep moving. They're transient. So they transit, all right, through the sky. And the only placement that you're aware of in comparative basically is your natal chart or today, right? What it looks like today compared to another day or another time. So when we look at these, what I see in Taurus, right, is Jupiter and Uranus, and they're within 3 degrees right now, and the sun is at 22. So they are really amping up what's going on. All right. And Venus is there at 16 degrees, and everybody is feeling like they're really coming into a fullness of understanding. And in this fullness of understanding, that's going to bring with it an energy of tangible material wealth, all right, of some style. That is what the energy is asking. It will be in forms of and connected to like higher consciousness because it is for expansion. So how can I use this for betterment for others? What else can I do to be helpful? There are other things that will happen, but things will show up and appear that will allow you to understand and know that. And all of that is on trajectory for our rising, and our current rising is Virgo. So remember, all right, that I was telling you, all right, about Mercury going into retrograde as Virgo is about halfway through, okay, and then redoing and then moving along its merry way, okay. That means that there are earth things that we're learning about what tangible properties mean things to us and have value. We may be reassigning because we're going to be very analytical, all right, because of the proximity of Pluto, all right, and the moon, okay. We're going to be very analytical in proximity because that's they're like 90 degrees. So they're going to affect each other in a trine. All right. So the Virgo aspect, okay, is going to bring with it ways for us to practice to create a construct or deconstruct a construct that is no longer necessary. So there's going to be a lot of self-analysis, a lot of self-discovery. The energies of the planets are really supporting self-awareness, self-involvement in who you are and how you behave. Like a lot of behavioral um, uh, accountability, all right, is what the energy is feeling like. And in that, learning as well that grace that you can give to yourself when you don't feel like you're deserving of it. So there you go, that polarity again. Welcome. Okay. Now, some other aspects of the planets, all right, is where Aries is. So Aries, the house of Aries, all right, that was the house of Taurus, all right, that's where that stellium is. Now, the house of Aries has an asteroid and our node, okay, our aspiration node, the one that we are releasing whatever the beliefs were that caused us action, because it's fire, okay? And how we thought we held ourselves, the I am aspect. So all of that is burning to the ground, basically. And we feel maybe that we're coming a little closer, halfway there. That's about where we're at, to that phoenix sort of, oh man, maybe I can, move into. But that's because we're in our clear year, right? And the clear year is a faster burn, a faster burn, more revealing. And it's like right now, you got to shift. You're seeing your behavior shift. And so there's a lot of that accountability that's coming in. And it isn't apologies, it's accountability. It's changing the behavior, doing things differently. It's a lot of that action right now. So where we are being successful is coming into our emotional body, our sensory awareness body, and learning how to process our inner charges in our cells. And I'm really proud of everybody for that, because it's fully supported by our midheaven, and Taurus is coming, Gemini is coming up in our midheaven, right? And so it just looks, and it's just so beauteous to see how we're going to come into this cognition, so that truth is going to be revealed of emotional intelligence and emotional sensory, of coming together to where like that will be a norm, where we will allow ourselves to have a feeling but regulate it. And that's because it won't be highly charged with an emotional, unprocessed bit of us. And it doesn't mean that everything has to be processed. It means that we come into acceptance and become who we are. All right. So that's kind of that energy. And that energy, well, not kind of, but that's that energy. And the beauty is that Neptune is 29 degrees in Pisces, and Saturn is at 17 degrees in Pisces, and they are at endings, right? So I think that as Neptune transitions, right, because remember, we're in our spiritual node of Aries. So as Neptune transitions within the next moments, right, however long that's going to be, I'll look that one up. That's probably worthwhile. So when that happens, we're going to be in our understanding. Oh, yeah. Oh, that won't happen for a minute. It'll happen. Let's see. And it'll be in retrograde for a second again. So it'll only come out in August, I guess, is around the time that you'll be there, and it'll go through retrograde. So it's going to stay for a minute. Yes. Anyway, as it comes close to that cusp, it keeps challenging our beliefs and how we feel about them. And it comes and pushes the energy of our beliefs, because it represents our, I would say, our subconscious and the unfocused energy of our experiences. And it's delightfully understanding when you go in and you begin to investigate or get curious about who you are. All right. So that's what I have to say about the planets. All right. Very happy about that. Some of the auspicious days that they had mentioned were round number days. And so I had asked them what they meant by that. They said round number days. And I said, okay, what does that mean? So that would mean threes, sixes, eights, nines, and zeros. All right. But zeros would be represented by not being there. They would be an amplification thereof. So I understood. So things that add to 3, okay, will help. If you can spot a 3, you can utilize the energy of it, that sort of thing. But if there's too many hard edges in your equation, the year is already an 8. So that gives you a nice foundation when you're doing like the numbers or the numerology of it, or however it is that you're looking at the information, right? So in the numerology of auspicious days or beneficial days, round numbers will benefit. So let's kind of look at what round numbers like have for archetypal understandings, okay? So for threes, that's like the creative person, basically, and a very strong desire for self-expression, using hands, thoughts, or words, natural entertainers who thrive in the spotlight. Number threes love people and are happiest when given the opportunity to show their abilities to others, often charming with a good sense of humor. Threes also tend to be sociable and friendly, may have a tendency to be overly theatrical in business and personal life, often drawn to artistic or creative fields. And then it goes on to list like strengths and weaknesses. Now, the other round number that they gave us was the carer. Okay, so the carer. All right, that's going to be number 6. Oh, here we go. A natural caregiver. Wow. Okay, so somebody who has self-expression and is physical, right? And somebody who is a caregiver who thrives on helping others and providing comfort. They seek to create a more harmonious world and love to feel needed. Oh my, that sounds like it could be kind of dangerous if we are not aware. Okay. Their key focus is always on friendships, family, and other key relationships, often not content alone, often not content alone. Okay. Being in a relationship is of particular importance. 6's desire for perfection may make them a target for the demands of others. Ooh. 6's may also be judgmental if they feel unappreciated. Wouldn't we all? Okay. All right. But I could see how maybe that would be a little bit more for that. So round numbers. So we would know that we would be in a caregiving situation on a 6th day. All right. And we would want to have expression and creativity on a 3 day. All right. And then let's look at the 8, right? Ooh, the business leader. So this is going to be a business day. That would be a good auspicious day. All right. And this is throughout the year. Okay. And this is how you apply it. All right. So the business leader, a goal-oriented, driven person, often seen in positions of great responsibility. They tend to have good organizational skills and high levels of energy. Everybody I know that's an 8, yep. Drawn to material wealth and success, an 8 tends to actively seek out opportunities to pursue and advance their own abundance. Possessions and belongings are a focus of this number, with the ultimate goal of attaining enough material wealth to be able to then use their strengths to help others. Oh, wow, that is impressive. Yep, that tracks. Okay, so if you want to do business, your business days, right, would be if you want to initiate business, remember? So it's the business leader. So you are bringing in a new avenue, a new way to, all right? Because you're still going to, and you want to take care of others. See, so all of these numbers are going to come into play because we're in awareness of their patterns. And even though we're choosing to focus in the 8 direction because it's a business day and we'll be very focused, we're also going to have the nuances of the support of the other auspicious days. And so as you bring those numbers in, they'll be supportive, but they'll also give you guidance and balance, harmonious, balance-based suggestions in how they move, right? And mostly it's done because you have an intention. All right. So even if you choose an 8 as an auspicious day to initiate a new business direction, okay, or a new pattern, or capitalize on a great pattern and repeat it somehow, right? That is going to give you the focus of the 8, all right, and let you go with all the other numbers supporting you because you have awareness of them. So you know that you're in this focus will, yes. Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, so the 9. Okay, so the 9, all right, the compassionate person. So this is naturally going to take you into that humanitarian, Christ consciousness, higher consciousness, oneness energy. Oh, yeah. That's where that 9's going to take you. All right. Okay, so now you can see all the interconnectivity of all the numbers. You're beginning to maybe sense the patterns or how they respond to you and how you feel in proximity to them or think in proximity. If you can bring a thought into what the emotional value is, you can connect your two brains, no matter what the value is. You could have a feeling behind the thought, and that allows you to create this amazing synapse where they come together and all 30 plus trillion cells come online for you. And now you're in this complete awareness of being you in that moment. And it's very freeing. It lets you feel choice. That's the word. It lets you feel choice. So I like to produce that whenever I'm able. Okay. So the 9, let's see, typically drawn to a life of service. 9s often place the needs and feelings of others first without expecting anything in return. They are natural givers, either of time, love, energy, or financial resources, and tend to have a well-developed sense of patience, understanding, and compassion. Happiness tends to be derived from selfless acts of service. They thrive on gift giving and in acts of kindness. How interesting. Okay. So now you know that compassion is self-compassion as well as an act of love for self and others. Okay. Let's see. And then let's say a master number comes in. Okay. So sometimes we'll see those 11s, the 22s, and the 33s, right? So the 11s, I've always been prompted to understand as, or ones, a series of ones as, what are your thoughts, right? And that brings me into, what am I being taught, right? What's the vision? And then 2s, a series of 2s or 22 is like, what am I going to build? It's very actionable because the duality is that I'm bringing it from the etheric into the material. So it's building, it's action. There's what's the action now, right? And then maybe 3s, the series of 3s. 33 is a healer, guidance, right? So how can I be of service? All right. Now, because those are master numbers, they're always going to be in play. One moment. If you could, yeah. Thank you. Little, yeah, just right there. Goodness. Yes, I do understand. Hold on. Okay. Those are just brief synopsis of what those numbers mean, okay, in the numerology chart that we're looking at, okay? All right. So it started on 420, so that's going to be a 6 amplified. So we immediately had like the best day right there. 422 is going to be the next one. That's going to be an 8, right? Now you can begin to see the sequences that you're looking for, right? So you could look at today's date. Today's date is going to be 5/12/2024. So that's going to be a 5 and a 1 plus a 2. That's going to be an 8. So you have an 8, 8, okay, which brings it to a 16, which is an interesting number. A 1 is an initiate number. That means the beginning, leadership. Maybe this is the first time, new beginnings, leading, moving in a direction, different direction, refocusing, bringing in a level of clarity. A lot of creative energy comes in with that, but it's mostly cognitive. So you're in this thoughtful energy of initiation, this new beginning. All right. And so that's the basic of the 1. The 6, remember we had the carer. So now you're going to move into service or healing right in that aspect, right? Then when you add the 2 together, the 1 and the 6, it brings you to a hard line, a 7. Okay. And that would be the total equation. So knowing what the 7 is, 7 for me represents high intuition, highly intuitive aspects. So how am I going to align my day with what I can do with that particular number? Today is an auspicious day for me to provide this service and be in alignment with what my goal orientations are. So I naturally use this day. Very happy that it actually just opened up and life was wonderful. Okay, so that's our little lesson on numerology for today. And it's not all even numbers. You want to kind of look at it and remember to stay away from hard edges just until, well, our next season, right? Our next season is going to be Gemini, and that will start May 21st. In fact, May 21st is when I'll have my first in-person one. Okay, so let's see. And that'll be the twins. So remember, that's going to be the number 2 a lot. All right. The number 2 a lot. Okay. So the edges will change. Things will provide polarity and duality. You will see a lot of representations of what the patterns are in duality for behaviors and things like that. Anyway, in this Taurus season, what we are experiencing is a lot of deep understandings of physical aspects for ourselves, okay? And what the meanings are to us spiritually, because that's how we're connecting right now. We're deep in a spiritual connection of who we are. We're finding out who we are and what we think. And even places of non-action in a spiritual sense are still action in spiritual beliefs, because we're acting in a construct of how we think the world works. And we are spirit and never left. And those are my thoughts. Okay. I have a couple of decks today. I love this deck. This one is Mystic Mondays Tarot. It's one of my favorite. Okay. And then I'm also going to be pulling from Black Moon Astrology. I love that one too. This is a gorgeous deck. All right. And these are some favorites of mine. Because this is a yin season, okay? So a divine feminine season, all right? And because Venus is in her house, all right? There is a lot of tangible possibilities, okay, in the next couple of weeks to bring through that, which you would like to experience. Even though it feels short, this time is the most explosive in this season. All right. You can look for numbers to support what it is that you would like. All right. And they will always work out because you're setting intention and you're bringing in an energetic pattern to adhere it to in a certain behavioral desire. Okay. So they always work. So today, I think what we will do, okay, is that we will pull a few cards. Okay. All right. So maybe, oh yeah, like how can we finish strong in this season? That's what I'm getting. How can we finish strong? What are our best practices? What are our best practices moving forward? Okay, so they're saying 7. 1 comes here, and then 1 comes from that one right there, comes there. Okay, so they said 7 cards, and these are best practices. So we're going to pull it together the best we can, best practices, okay? All right, so they said sequence does not matter, but is affected. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, so it's an 8. I got it. Okay. I get it. I got it. Okay. Okay. So what we could do is we could start with 3. All right. Ooh, 4 of swords. And then we'll go to 6. Ooh, 2 of pentacles. Oh, that's a 6, right? That's a 6. Okay. All right, so let's see. Wait till I show you the designs and how in alignment they are to come into these understandings, okay? All right, so 2 of Pentacles, 4 Swords. So that's going to be earth and air, okay? Those are the focuses. We'll go to 2, all right, because we'll just go to 2, all right? Oh, and that's the King of Swords, all right? Oh, okay. So there's archetypal energy in our read. So there's some behaviors we're looking at. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go on this side. Ooh, and the King of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. This placement is so interesting. So I pulled the card just to the left of the 4 swords, and it is the King of Swords. Then I pulled the card just to the right of the 8. Well, it's the 2 of Pentacles, and it is the King of Pentacles. So we're moving in very sequenced energy, okay? And we are the heroes, heroines of our story, okay? That's how this feels. Like we are self-motivated, we're very cognitive in how we're behaving, and we're very physical in our mind, body, and spirit is very connected. We're showing up where we need to, very highly motivated in that. And even though we're being told, so here is the aspects. I got it. So in our thoughts, right, our cognitions, currently we are on fire with our thoughts, and so we need to dial that down a little bit. We need to put the dimmer switch on, insert some meditation, maybe some slow music, and dance around a little bit, maybe go water the garden, something that doesn't require an awful lot, okay? And we need to slow down. We need to slow down and plug into who we are. We need to just come right back into who we are. We're too much in thought. We're highly motivated by what we're finding, okay? And we also have the capacity to be overcompensating for it. And that would mean that is like where we are at our weaker point. And our strength would be at our thoughtful point and understanding how to move into that emotional intelligence of understanding that we're enough, right? So this is saying meditation is what our thoughts need, like a slowing down, a coming together, because we need to build a foundation. That foundation is key to sanity right now in these times. All right. some kind of meditation. Life is a meditation, and if you recognize that life is a meditation, you move into a state of being, and things just, they flow more easily. All right. You can understand that shaming yourself for moving one segue into the other is not healthy. So you start to bless the one that you're moving away from. You move into the next one fully present, because you understand that you're just having an experience. It's an experience, whether you're choosing it or not, whether it's been brought to you or you've brought it to you. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how this is. Now, the Two of Pentacles, okay? The Two of Pentacles is about balance and looking at balance in what your material aspects are. Not only are you motivated by like your thoughts, okay, and building foundations in those thoughts, right? But it is about, because it's a very humanitarian card as well, if you want to open it up that way. And when you do, you're thinking about others as well. So in that, you're maybe we're taking on other people's understanding of physical wealth. All right. And so I'm going to turn the, oh yes, see. All right. So there is this, oh man, we are so set up. Okay. All right. So here's the sequence. Okay. I'll just show you the sequence. The Ace of Pentacles. All right. So it's the Ace of Pentacles. That's Earth. The King of Swords. The King of Swords. The Four of Swords. The Ten of Pentacles. I like this card. The Two of Pentacles. Oh, wow. A lot just came through for this. This is about not collapsing yourself into your material wealth, because it is going to grow. And in that aspect, allowing yourself to understand that it's okay for you to build the coffers for a minute. It's okay for you to allow it to come in and then decide how it is that you wish to allocate it. You don't have to allocate it right off the bat. It's all right for you to sit with it for a minute. There is a time of balance and harmony, and frugality is a way to allow yourself to understand that you can purchase what you'd like, or you can experience what you'd like, yet you're very selective about how you would like to do that. If you can do it in a way where you don't say things like, I can't afford, right? And you do say things such as, this sounds like it'd be fun. Okay. That opens up the energy for you in a different way. And here is the Two of Pentacles again. It has that figure eight, right? But it's two pentacles. All right. All right. And then the King of Pentacles. All right. And this reminds me of somebody that I met and love very dearly. And he is the epitome of this, Esquire, all the way. Really, really top notch. Highly motivated, a lot of careful planning. Yes. So the King, right? And then here's the spiritual lesson that we're in right now. The Priestess. We're learning to trust our intuition. That is the emotional connection of duality that we are experiencing. That is the spiritual lesson that we are in currently. All right. So when we look at that, and we have like a double archetype. all right, of energy. These are the characters, right? And these are reflective of how we're acting or what we need to bring in, all right? So thought, right? Motivating thought and motivating actions, right? Motivating thought and motivating provisions, like material aspects, like you're looking at your wealth. And your wealth could be having a roof over your head, maybe having a job, maybe having your breath, right? But you have a wealth, and looking at that with like gratitude for what is. So falling into gratitude practices would be well served here, because that will bring you more of what the experience is that you're grateful for. Okay, it'll bring you more things to be grateful for. And this is coming up with motivational thought to bring you into that receiving mode. All right, so bringing in these archetypal energies, becoming understanding of your earth connection and your air connection. All right, now when you have that, there are some, the very first, right, card on the line was the Ace of Pentacles. In the Ace of Pentacles, that means that it's very initiate energy. It's like, here is what we are creating, okay? And you're in this nebulous energy of, I want to say, it is thought. It's like, it's consciousness. So it has everything, okay? It has everything. And we go into that energy, and that's where we have like our dreams and ideation and possibility and supposition and just so many different experiences happening. Okay. All right. So in this, it has a hand, a woman's hand with nails, or a woman, or a female, feminine hand with nails, holding like the sunlight, right? Like the offering, okay, of what's to come. All right. And that's the Ace of Pentacles. So it's going to be a very emotional yin energy. All right. And it's going to feel like spring. So this is very reflective of our right now experience. Okay. We're in, like, we were in mid-spring, just, you know, around 420, and now we're coming into later spring. Okay. So the beauty of this, right? We're mid-spring, okay, is that this shows that we're still just beginning to come into our material wealth, okay? And however you translate that, that is what it means to you, because that's what your focus is, that's what you'll bring in. And so be mindful of your thoughts. Remember, you're learning your intuition. So be mindful of your thoughts. That's what this means. Be mindful of your thoughts. Allow yourself to see, okay, to see more than just you in the picture and how this is affected, right? And then release focuses that aren't serving your intuitive value, your emotional support system that has a knowing, okay? All right. And then that is how you will achieve the resting aspect to build the foundations necessary for the thoughts that will bring you in harmony with that abundance. Okay. That's what'll happen. That abundance will be had. All right. And it is most likely needing balance of as above, so below. So really understanding your material wealth in what is, right? And that will allow you to stay motivated and keep in allowance. All right. And so that is my card read for all of that. Now I pulled out another deck. Okay. Pulled out another deck, and that's a beautiful Taurus season read. And you can see the ins and outs. You can see how intuition, if we haven't been using it, has been called over and over and over again. And we should do this, and we should be there, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards, 2 cards. And these 2 cards are going to represent big, auspicious, lucky days, because we're in this energy right now and we're going to create them. Okay. So in these auspicious days or in these auspicious times, all right, this is what the planetary alignment or moon it is that you should look for. Okay. It's not the moon cards. So these are planet cards. Okay. So let's see. And astrological cards. All right. So this is going to be a most auspicious and beneficially abundant day for planting planting new seeds. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. I saw it. It says increase. So it says part of fortune is increase. All right. All right. Part of fortune is increase. And that's funny. So we'll have to pull another card. All right. The ninth house, faith. Okay. So that means that you look at that, the 33. Remember we talked about, numerics. It's a 33. So there we are in that mastery. All right. Ninth house, another circle, right? And then 3 and 3 is 6. So we have 3, 6, 9, and faith is what's being called for. Okay. So your ninth house is representative. I'm going to go ahead and read it off. It's a little faster. All right. But your ninth house is represented by, I put everything out here because I knew I would have too much in my mind when I'm not in that connection. Here we are. Pardon me, is ruled by Jupiter. All right. And it's Sagittarius. Oh, mom. Okay. So that is going to be, can you imagine it's ruled by Jupiter? And Jupiter is right now in Taurus. Okay. So keep that in mind. So this is really good. So your ninth house is, you're asking for faith. And then the behaviors of the ninth house, it covers the higher mind, expansion, international and long distance travel, foreign languages, inspiration, optimism, publishing. Okay. All right. Pardon me. Broadcasting, universities and higher education, luck, risk, adventure, gambling, religion, philosophy, morals and ethics. Oh, yeah. So I would say that, oh, yeah, that when we hit that top of the wheel in a few months, right, that is going to be a good season for us, because that's going to be the grown up fire of our experience, okay, thus far in the energy of our node, right? Our node is going to remain in Aries, but Aries is fire. And so as it crosses itself, which it started, right, and then it goes over Leo, it gets more intense and it grows up a little bit more. And then it goes over Sagittarius and grows up a little bit more, returns to Aries, all right, and then it lets go a little bit after that. So, right? And it started in Leo being. So we are going to have some transmutation energy available to us. So there's going to be a lot of change, a lot of action behind that change. All right. And that is great. So expect that in the fire seasons, I would say, but most likely when it comes in, let's see, so Sag is November 22nd to December 21st. So almost just before the solstice for winter. All right. So the last part of autumn, that's what that is. Here's the next card. Ooh. All right. Now we go to the lunar eclipse. Okay. So the eclipse gates are open. So the next eclipse is coming up. Good luck. And that is going to promote a lot of change. A lot of change. That one is going to, hands down, boom, change. So I'm going to look that up really fast and see what that one is. Pardon me. Let's see. It's in May, I think. Next eclipse. Maybe we're not having any more. Just kidding. August 23rd. Oh, the total solar eclipse. Okay, that was like the 8th, but wait, let's see. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think that the eclipse gates are open and we are just wide right now. Anyway, I think that because of the lunar eclipse that we had, that we're very open right now and spirituality is changing. I think that our lives are changing on a daily basis, moment to moment. So I think that that's also talking about all the change that's in the 9th house, right? That's coming with all the fire energy. I think that we'll feel a little bit more ease when we move into that Sagittarius season. And what I want to do is I want to end with a rune. And this is going to be a rune of suggestions of what to focus on. Ooh, nice. And it's upright. I like them all anyway. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, guess what? This is the rune of possessions. I love how all of this just comes together. All right. The rune of possessions. Okay, ready? All right. So that'll be on page 113, which is a 5. Possessions, nourishment, cattle. Fehu. Okay, Fehu is a rune of fulfillment, ambition satisfied, love shared, rewards received. It promises nourishment from the most worldly to the sacred and the divine. For if the ancient principle, as above, so below, holds true, then we are also here to nourish God. This rune calls for a deep probing of the meaning of profit and gain in your life. Look with care to know whether it is wealth and possessions you require for your well-being, or rather self-rule and the growth of a will. Another concern of Fehu is to conserve what has already been gained. This rune urges vigilance and continual mindfulness, especially in times of good fortune, for it is then that you are likely to collapse yourself into your success on the one hand, or behave recklessly on the other. Enjoy your good fortune and remember to share it, for the mark of the well-nourished self is the ability and willingness to nourish others. What a great ending for a lovely broadcast. Thank you all for joining. I hope that you enjoy this private screening for you, and how it will work moving forward is that I will always post it into here for my live, okay? And then people will be able to access it via email when they purchase the ticket if they're not part of Patreon, all right? But I love you guys and thank you. Mwah. Blessings. I will see you on the 21st.